Yes, sir. What's going on, guys? We got this podcast rolled out. We are amped up. We're so back, baby. We are so back.
Dude, we had to work hard just to get this shit to work. Like, we've been on 4 different phone calls, 2 different... Ridiculous. Goated. We still got to come up with a name for this, right? We still got to come up with a name for this, right?
Oh, yeah, dude.
Big old titty cast.
Oh my God! Here we go in the cut. Let's go with you. All right, but enough jokes aside. Let's get into it, man. Let's get into it.
What I'm into, you know what I'm into? Is
What are you
the
into, bro?
Spurs NBA fucking draft night, dude. I'm not totally sure on the direction, but I do in general like the moves. So a lot of people,
100%.
Rob Dillingham getting traded. First of all, we were supposed to get Rob at 4 and Stefan at 8. So we took him backwards, but we got him. I do think Rob Dillingham and Victor Wembanyama would have been like an offensive powerhouse duo, but allegedly, the rumor mill, the workings, the birds that are chirping, they're saying Darius Garland wants to come to the Big Sass.
Really?
He wants to be a Spur. So
Because
what
I
I'm
didn't
hearing,
understand that. Like, because you guys drafted Castle at 4, and then you drafted Dillingham at 8, which like you said, I was like, okay, I liked where we were going, and then y'all traded him, and I was shocked. I really was. I was shocked.
if the Garland things are true, because I've been hearing that for like 2 months now, and it all started with what was it, Brian Windhorst, the fat guy on ESPN, was talking about how the Cavs shouldn't have got Donovan because it hindered Darius. And ever since then, I've been seeing stuff that Darius wants to play in San Antonio. So my thought process behind it is we trade Rob Dillingham for even more future picks that we can use. I think it's literally 8 years from now, so that whenever the Timberwolves are ass again,
Yep.
we'll have some nice picks. And for now, we're going to get Darius Garland. We got our 2 guard in Stephon Castle. We've got 2 elite defensive wings in Keldon Johnson, Devin Vassell, 3 in Jeremy Socon, really. And then we've got Wemby. If we can land like 1 or 2 free agents, get 1 or 2 good rookies, we're right back to dynasty contention.
Let's slow your roll there, Buckmeister. If we want to talk about dynasty, I say we should talk about how the Boston Celtics
God,
are.
fuck your
We're
ring.
starting a dynasty here in Beantown, boys. I mean, we're here. We are here.
Age-wise, I'm not sure if Boston's going to be like quite dynasty because Drew Holiday and Kristaps, 2 key pieces that literally took them from contenders to chips. But
So, which brings me to another discussion that we're kind of jumping around here, but speaking of the Celtics, okay, yeah, we made some upgrades. We got rid of Rob. We got rid of Brogdon. We got rid of Smart. Obviously, Hauser had a nice role coming in. Pritchard had a better role. Bench wasn't super deep. Horford gets moved to the bench, obviously, with the acquirance of Chris. My big thing, being a huge Marcus Smart fan, is if you don't trade for Drew Holiday and say Marcus Smart stays the point guard, but we add Kristaps, does that team still
you
win the
don't
NBA Finals?
know because you also have Malcolm Brogdon on that team still at that point.
Say Brogdon's gone. Like, say Smart stayed, everyone who else left, everyone came besides Drew
I
Holiday.
I want to say yes. I want to say Marcus Smart is like a great point guard and a great 2 guard, and that's but it's just not. They won simply because they were able to upgrade from his position. They
Yep,
got
and it's absolutely.
like it's not a hateful thing. I would rather see Marcus Smart win a ring than Drew Holiday, to be blunt with you. But like,
Oh yeah, because I mean, Drew already got one. Drew has solidified himself as a Hall of Fame guy, really.
I think my favorite part about y'all's ring is the fact that Al Horford robbed Philadelphia and OKC of $109 million, and then came back and won anyway.
I mean, if anyone here is a Boston Celtics fan that's going to watch, and I'm sorry to all your Philly fans, but me and all my homies hate Philly, as I like to say. I've got utter disrespect for Philadelphia. Don't like them as a city. Don't like them as a franchise. Never been to the city, so I can't really talk that much crap. I don't want any beef if I go there. But as far as to talk about 76ers this, 76ers that, shove it up a pipe and smoke it, bud. All right? We have owned Philadelphia the past 8 years.
On the Sixers train, I sort of had this thought. So I don't think it was a bad draft pick, but I'm sort of just curious on, Jared McCain went to the Sixers.
Yeah,
Um,
talk about a
th-
little bit on the magical side.
I was a little confused because that's not a very tolerant fan base. You feel me? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, if we're just getting straight to the point here, the dude definitely swings a little. It seems.
Yeah,
We're
his
just being
fruit's
honest,
ripe.
and Philly's a team of hard asses. So I'm very interested to see how that goes along.
That's my thing, and like with Kyle Lowry's fat butt cheeks just hanging around, I don't know that that's going to be the best lot.
Get Kyle Lowry on Sports Illustrated. I mean, what are we doing here?
But no, I
Pause.
think Philly. I think Philly did get one of these steals in the draft at 16 with Jared, or not 16. What was it?
It was
13,
16.
14?
No, you had it. It was 16.
Yeah, dude. I think that's actually a pretty big fall. And I'm a fucking UNC fan. I'm sitting here saying that, but I did think Jared was going to go before that, so that's a pretty nice pickup for them.
Mm-hmm.
If he plays out, him and Tyrese Maxey might actually be enough to get Embiid some help. But fuck Joel Embiid. I don't care.
And this is awful for me to say, but dude, his zest, Jared McCain's zestiness and TikTok ability. I mean, hey, give him some credit. He's a TikTok star. He could probably not go into the NBA and be just fine. But
Yeah.
something about that demeanor, and hey, I know he just does it to make money. I know he just does it for fun. I have no hate for it. The dude, he likes to be himself. That's cool. It's just hard for me to see him go into an NBA role when I see him doing stuff like that, as weird as it sounds. But I mean, look at Juju Smith-Schuster. Everyone made kind of fun of him for the TikToks. And I mean, he hasn't, let's just be
Juju
honest,
had a couple.
he had a couple
Juju had
good
a
years.
couple
And then,
seasons where you could
yeah,
have argued he was one of the upper echelon receivers in the
yes.
league.
And hey, it may be correlation. After he started posting TikToks, it, let's be real, he fell off.
I,
100% he fell off.
that's not even what I
I
thought you
mean,
were going
he
to say.
did go to Kansas City and he won a ring, so like I can't say that, but like production wise, I mean, he was putting up,
Well, no, that plays to your point. He went to Kansas City and won a ring because he sat on the bench. He went to Kansas City and bro, I'm the fucking Chiefs fan. Like I love Juju. I think it was cool having him on our team. He brought some, not that we needed relevancy, but kept us around for like kids to Anyway, I think Juju's a fine receiver, but I totally agree. I don't know what happened, but I would hate for Jared to do the same thing, like make his whole NBA career just like a resume thing, He's like, oh, I did that. I ate that. What I feel
exactly.
like that's what Juju did.
Yep. And I mean, and that's a cool thing. It's like, hey, man, they're being themselves. I have no disrespect towards it. You know what I mean? I don't, we're those type of guys where it's like, I don't care what you do with your life, dude. You can do anything you want to do as long as you're happy. It's just, it does seem to correlate into that aggressive, having to
I
be an athlete. It's like they don't really mix.
Yeah, I don't. I wish I would have seen him go somewhere that pretty much not Philly and not Miami. Anywhere else, I feel like would have been, or not
Haha.
Utah.
Another statement. Me and all my homies hate Miami.
Bro, okay, we can't hate Miami. Erik
I hate
Spoelstra
Miami.
is the most Spo is the most underappreciated coach of all time, and
That
I
I
would
can
die.
agree with.
Okay, I would die on that
I
hill.
have the utmost respect for their coaching staff, and that's about it.
I have 26 things written down I wanted to talk about, and that is not one of them. And
Holy
I would have
crap!
spent a fucking year, defending that statement that Spo is underappreciated.
I mean, he is. No one really talked about him even in the LeBron era, and then even after the LeBron era. I mean, dude, he keeps that team winning. Not and hey, they haven't won a championship, no, but I mean, they get in the playoffs. They go on deep runs. They know what they're doing.
He's got some pretty high knowledge, and as much
And
as I
it's
love our viewers, I'm going to test you guys real quick. I would love to know, little game for you guys. Do you know what this sound is?
I have to say that's a ripper straight to Choocher Town, buddy.
Fuck. Yeah, it did. Oh, hopefully they got that one right. Fuck. Okay. Whew. All right. Well, now that I'm primed up, I've got my little fucking notepad here. I don't know about you, but I've got a couple things that I want to talk
I'm
about specifically.
yeah, I mean, I'm ready to rock and roll. I've got a couple things I'd be interested to talk about, but honestly, man, I'm interested to see what you got written down. Let's go.
I fucking left my notepad over here. So I want to start with what I believe is going to be my hottest take, or what I think would be like the most out there, least likely. I don't even know if it's hottest take because it's so early that nothing now really matters in fruition, you
Mm-hmm.
know? But I'm going to be honest with you. The New York Knicks look fucking elite, man.
We got. Oh, all right. Go. Just if you have any more statements, go ahead. Because I'm about to go on a rant here.
Okay, so not only did Jalen Brunson prove to the world that he could damn near average 40 points a game on one fucking leg, he proved he can do it for almost the entire season and postseason,
Mm-hmm.
despite getting completely hacked in 2 series. Now, I'm not. You can ask George, you can ask anyone who lived in y'all's house, bro. I'm not a Knicks fan. I'm not a Brunson glazer. I actually thought Brunson was mad overrated for the first half of the season. But they just brought in an offensive, like, cornerstone of consistency. There is no one more consistent than McCall Bridges, right? So you
Mm-hmm.
just took a little bit of offensive load off of Jalen Brunson's shoulders, on top of adding one of the best all-around defenders in the entire fucking NBA to hide Jalen's one weakness, to hide Julius's one weakness. Oh, and on top of that, you just signed OG Anunoby, the little brother, the same archetype of McCall Bridges, to a 5-year deal, not even max money because he understood what he was buying into. They've got an elite chemistry going in with the Villanova brother line. I mean, dude, I'm a fucking Spurs fan. I have no dog in this fight, and I am very excited to watch this Knicks team next year. I'm done.
So, first of all, I'll get back into the McCall Bridges thing. You can look at it two ways. Hey, is it awesome that they're going to get that Villanova chemistry? It's pretty sick, I gotta say. I could even, I mean, even as a Celtics fan, I'm a little jealous, just knowing that those guys have that crazy chemistry, which, hey, the Celtics do as well. Um, but you can't give up 5 first-round picks for that. I'm sorry. Is adding one extra guy to build this chemistry going to, I mean, hey, I know people are saying with the signing of OG and him getting traded, the Knicks, chances are great. Which, hey, they went to the semifinals last year. They went to 6 or 7. What was it? 7 with Indy. 6, I think. I believe it was 6. I could be wrong, but and 4 of them are unprotected. And I know a lot of people say, well, hey, like picks in the NBA aren't that crazy compared to like NFL and stuff, and you can get guys in the second round. I completely understand, but it's just the principle that you gave up that much for a guy who, let's be real, he's really good, but he's just an average starter in the league. Like, and that's no disrespect to him, but I look at the Knicks and I don't see the hype. And call me disrespectful. I know they had a great run last year, but in my opinion, that team wasn't even supposed to be there. I mean, they were balling, but I think it
They,
was more of they were on a great run more
I
than
totally
this team
agree
is
with
about
you.
it.
I totally agree with you on the fact that they were not supposed to be there last year. But I disagree with you that McCall Bridges is an average starter because he's shown you that he can play every role. If you need him to be the 5th guy on the team, he did that in Phoenix. He did that behind all those other guys, and he literally shut the fuck up and just played his role. No one even knew how good he
True.
was until he went to Brooklyn.
That's fair.
And then he showed you, I need a superstar. They didn't ask McCall to be their superstar. They just said, fuck it, I need someone so we don't lose
And I
every
can say
game
from
this year.
experience, he cooked the Celtics. He's definitely good.
And like I said, bro, that archetypal player, he's giving you 2 stocks every single night. Steals and blocks, consistent defense. He's not allowing more than 15 points. PAPG, analytics. I love my stats. McCall Bridges is one of those, and he plays every single game. He's played
That
like
no, yep.
590. Like, he's Mr. Consistency. He's Iron Man, bro. He's so solid, and that's what you need in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it helps them that much in the regular season or not, or whether it changes anybody's numbers that much or not, they just added a guy who can consistently guard the other team's best player in the playoffs and give you 15 points.
Sure,
That's
sure, sure, sure.
huge. So
The way I look at it too is this team. It built its way to a 2 seed, and I know OG was a great help. But they built their way to a 2 seed and making it, and I know they were hurt, so I know they weren't full strength. I'm not trying to not give them credit. But let's be real, they had to win a lot of those games based off Jalen Brunson scoring 35 plus a game, shooting 35 plus field goals a game. and
They
shooting
had to.
50%. They
They
had
did,
him. He had to do that in order for them to win. Which, hey, I know they're injured.
but
100%. You needed a guy to step up.
But that goes into the same point you were saying they weren't even supposed to be there. They did need Jalen to drop those 30, 35,
In
40,
order to
sometimes
be there.
50 points. I
Yep.
agree. But do you know why they were in that situation to start with? Is because they've got guys like Dante DiVincenzo, Josh Hart, OG Anunoby, Isaiah Hardenstein who do dirty work. They play
Mm-hmm.
dirty defense.
Yep.
They dive on the floor. They sweat. They get in their teammates' faces. They're real fucking hoopers who are trying to win basketball games by any means necessary. And there's a lot of guys in the league who just want to put up buckets now. It's really hard. Like Caruso on the Thunder being now the Thunder have two guys like that. Bro, the Knicks have 4 or 5. That's unheard of. Like the Bucks, that's a big reason they won that chip. They've got Bobby Portis, they had Drew Holiday, Giannis, although he's a superstar, is one of those guys. Like Chris Middleton, like the gritty dudes go a long way in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm
No, and that's the thing. It's like their team is definitely full of dogs, right? No, like 100%, definitely. I'm probably about, and I'm not going to call the word hater because I don't hate on him, but just from my expertise of watching basketball over the years, Julius Randle's got to be the most unskilled, talked about player I've ever seen. I'm sorry. I know he's good. I know he can put up numbers, but let's be real. He is toxic, in my opinion, especially to an offense that is going to run around Jalen Brunson. Not saying it can't work, but you're going from a team that had a good run based off 6 or 7 guys now going to it's going to be Brunson, DiVincenzo, OG, Macau. Hey, let's say Hardenstein if they get him back, but I'm not glad it's not looking that way. Say whatever center. And then you also have to fit in, Randall
well,
coming back. And
every
it's
single
not
one
that
of
it
those.
can't work. It's just
Well,
you're
think about it.
kind
The guy that they brought in, McCall is primarily off ball. He's not ball dominant at all. Isaiah Hardenstein, OG Anunoby, Dante DiVincenzo, Josh Hart, all of those guys, every single one of them, non-ball dominant. Julius Randle is
ball dominant.
literally, he's famous for giving you 32 points per game one season and then 2 points per game the next. And he gave us an okay season this year. So I don't know what to expect out of him next year. But regardless, they didn't add a ball dominant guy. So I don't really think Julius Randle is borderline skillless. I'll give you that. But he's an absolute physical fucking unit who's going to give you 8 points per game in offensive rebounds and 5 points per game in transition, regardless of whether
Right.
he's just a
I
big
just I
fucking
think
guy.
I don't think it's gonna be as easy, I guess, as everyone's like, oh my god, the Knicks got Mikal Bridges and they re-signed OG, title contenders. They're up there with Boston. I'm sorry. No, you're not.
I don't
Everyone
think they're
wants
up
to
there with
talk about
Boston.
this Boston team like we had an easy ride and we didn't have a tough playoff. And hey, did it look hard? No, it didn't. We won every series in 5 games or less, 100%. But I feel like people also aren't realizing just how dominant we were. You had the Jays doing whatever they needed to do, and they could take a night off any night they wanted. You had Derek White averaging 4 threes a game. Drew Holiday speaks for himself. He's a great all-around player. And then you had Kristaps when he's healthy, and then you got Al coming off the bench with a semi-deep bench. So it's like, I'm sorry, dude. Until you prove it to me, you are not close to them. Like, we're talking pedestals here.
And to that same thing we were talking about earlier, the guys who really show up in the playoff, Sam fucking Hauser, bro.
Yep.
Irrelevant in the regular season, but it does not matter. Turns into prime JJ Redick come to off
Yep.
season.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think that's pretty much everything I had to say about the Knicks. Like you said, my negatives with them would be I don't know who they got in the draft. I would have to look that
I
up.
did not see that as well.
I'm sure I'll pull that up here in a minute. But my only negatives would be, like you said, they've got to re-sign Hardenstein. The 5 picks is kind of ludicrous, but they weren't all their picks. They had accumulated some of them, so
Sure.
it's not like they went bankrupt for picks. But money's tied up. Everyone's under contract. Everyone's wrapped up. Like, you're committed to this. You have to be willing to trade even more picks to go, I believe, like all in on this team. This is what you
Yep.
have.
And that's what I do like about it. It showed that they're
Ooh,
all in,
I
right?
I think. Oh, never mind. I was checking so they drafted Pacome Dadier.
I have
He's
no
a,
clue who that is.
he's another French forward. 6'7", 187. Yo, he's literally me. He's 6'7", 187. That's insane. That gives me so much confidence in myself. That's literally me. I have like 3 pounds on this guy. I'm officially a fan. I'm getting a jersey. And then they traded the guy they picked up in the second. So nothing crazy. Nothing crazy in the draft. I don't know. I think they're going to be fine. Did you have any more Celtics thoughts you wanted to get out?
I'm gonna stay humble. I'm not gonna be on here and brag. All I
Stay
think
humble.
is just two things. One, it was a great season. I had fun. It was one of my favorite seasons yet. And I don't appreciate the disrespect towards the Celtics. I don't care if you want to say Mickey Mouse ring or not. At the end of the day, we won the championship, and we were just a dominant team. 64
I
and 18 in the regular season. Guys stepped up every night. It's not like we weren't supposed to be there. You know what I mean? Miami Heat without Jimmy Butler. Okay, yeah, that sucks. You can't tell me Jimmy Butler's changing that 5-game series to a 7. I'm sorry. Not that good. I know he's good, but he's not that good. You go on to
that's
the next, Cleveland. Okay, Cleveland, they're a mediocre team. They're a mediocre team with not a lot of playoff experience. And yes, Donovan Mitchell did go down, but that team still has dogs. Like, people just think that when the star's not playing, their team doesn't have a chance. Everybody in the NBA is good. Yes, some are much better than others, some are much worse. But at the end of the day, your starters should be able to go out there and win you a game. They're starting for a reason, right? And
agreed.
especially you want to, show you proof is that. Let's go to the Indiana series. First 2 games, we win. The next 2, no Halliburton. You can call me crazy. They played better without Tyrese Halliburton. The 2 games where they did not have him were much closer. And you can say, oh, well, the Celtics weren't playing good, whatever. I don't care. They were playing better. And that Indiana team, dude, people don't look at them like they're crazy. I'm not gonna lie, they were the only team in the East that actually started to scare me a little bit. And don't get me wrong, I know it was a sweep. But, dude, their pace, if you watch them, their pace is insane. Like, it's monumental compared to anybody else. They get that ball, they run, they score, and they play defense. Like, their defense is good. It's not great, but come playoff time, it was locked and loaded.
Well, the thing is, their team the Pacers, deep and deep, like throughout, they're not good defenders, but they've got an absolute unit in Miles Turner. They've got a perimeter dog in TJ McConnell. Like, they've got a couple guys who can just
Right,
pick up so much slack.
100%. Yep.
And when they traded for Pascal, I personally thought it was a dumbass trade because
So
of the
did
ball
I.
dominance. But
Yep.
like you said, it's just a 7 seconds or less team, and it works out for them.